What's good, everybody? Welcome to Kandid Konvos. I'm your host, Quay Price. We got Chloe on deck. We got C Prince on deck. Say what's up to the people.
Hey, y'all.
How y'all doing?
This guy.
Bruh.
This guy. He always dropping the Barry White voice on the people, man.
You gotta give them what they want.
Man, you wild, man. You wild. I said, shout out to everybody joining us tonight. We appreciate you guys supporting the platform, supporting what we're doing. Like I said, for anybody who's trying to join the show tonight, join us on the panel. I've got the link pasted in all of the chat feeds, so you can go to the Kandid Convo page and grab the link in the live feed. You can also go over to Quay Price and get the link as well. And I'm gonna throw it up on the screen too, because I said I don't want no excuses. I think we might get into it tonight. I don't want no excuses. So like I said, once again, we are on YouTube. We're also on Facebook. So definitely go over to YouTube at the Quay Price page. Subscribe. Like I said, we're trying to get our subscribers up, spread out our reach to as many people as we can. And like I said, for anybody who's supported the show in the past or supporting today, bring a friend, tell a coworker, tell a buddy, like I said, we need all the folks that we can get to come to the show to join in these conversations, because at the end of the day, we need all the perspectives, all of the angles, all of the experience levels we can get, for these conversations to be productive, and to generate a lot of the jewels and gems that regenerate in these discussions or these conversations, thus helping everybody move forward, with a new perspective. So we got the link up on the screen to join the panel. You can throw that in your browser, your Google Chrome, your Microsoft Edge, whatever you got. Throw it in your browser. You can cut your camera on or off if you want to. If you're scared to have your camera on, you can definitely cut it off. But definitely come join us on the panel, so that it just makes for a better conversation, better engagement. All right. So let's man, it's been a lot going on this week. We're gonna get right into it. So the title for the night is Sis, Just Admit It. You hate men. Let me run that back for all the ladies who didn't hear that. Sis, just admit it. You hate men. All right. So of course, a lot has been going on this week. It's only Wednesday. A lot has been going on this week. Listen, I know we're coming off the heels of Will and Jada. And now this week we got a whole nother drama popping off. So I want to get into this conversation because once again, I think it is a needed conversation, and we about to have it. So let's go on and get on into this.
And I knew what a woman was, not a bad.
Okay, what's the difference?
A woman.
Okay.
A bad bitch is a person who's just, girl, I'm a bad, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I look the part, but I don't act the part. And I look the part, but I don't act the part. And I look the part, but I don't act the part. And I look the part, but I don't act the part. I look the part, but I don't act the part. I look the part, but I don't act the part. I look the part, but I don't act the part. I look the part, but I don't act the part.
Look the part, but they're just not it. These days, we have a lot of modern women who may look the part, they may talk the part, they may look immaculate on paper. But when you really get in there and look right below the surface, well, you'll see why they're still available.
Okay.
And there's a lot of women who are bad bitch. And I say in a way, not to degrade a woman, but just to go off the aesthetic of what they deem is a boss chick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs.
And
think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of like I'm a boss, like I'm a this, I'm a that, no, baby, like, but you can't cook.
Okay.
You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead.
You may not.
Okay. All right. So shout out to Pink Book Lessons for the video. Shout out to Cam for his words. So basically what we got right now is Cam Newton is under fire from a lot of ladies, a lot of man, it's all types of stuff going on. A lot of folks, I want to say even the NFL has had something to say. But essentially what he said, or basically what he revealed, was his preference in women. And it sparked all type of controversy. Like I said, this has went viral. And like I said, folks are mad at Cam, calling him a sexist, calling him this, and his mentality is stuck in the 1940s. He's toxic. He's a narcissist. Like, I've been seeing it all. And you know, from what I could see, the man was just voicing his preference and what he looks for in a woman. And it just blew up. And I never would have expected, you know, that little bit of what he said to blow up the way that it blew up. So yeah, I'm just starting to notice something. And thus, you know, why we are back to the title, you know, sis just admitted you hate men. Yep, something that I am noticing, listen, I'll just start here, then we'll get into the conversation. Something that I am noticing is, especially in this current day, when a man gets on a platform and states what he prefers or what his preference is or what his definition is of something, it's like he's getting dragged. He's getting dragged, he's getting canceled, he's getting all the things. And I'm just trying to understand where in the heck is that coming from? Because at the end of the day, you know, a lot of our ladies, they voice their preference all the time. Yeah, you know, we talk about the list, right? The list that these women have for men. You know, you got to be 6 feet tall. You got to make 6 figures. You got to have property in Florida. You got to have a cabin up north. You know, you got to have a savings account with $500,000. Like, you got to wine and dine. Like, they got a long list for the fellas. But it just seems to me when a man states his preference or what he wants or what he desires, then it is a whole problem. And that part really just had me confused. But let's get into this conversation. So you guys just saw the video. Chloe C. Prince, what you guys thinking when you saw that, or what's on your mind? Let's get into it.
I'm looking at Prince's face. Well, I mean, I'll go from that point because you basically said some of the same things I was going to say. I'll take it from the first point of I don't know when it became, a problem for somebody to have a preference. Like, it's almost like there are certain topics or conversation that you just can't even speak on, because the minute you speak on them, you're going to get, ostracized, and you're just going to get attacked. And what I'm seeing is men cannot speak their minds anymore unless they are speaking in agreement with everything female. Unless the man is agreeing, he can't say anything. Because if he is disagreeing with anything that the female, community is in agreement with, then he's going to get dragged. He get dragged automatically. And I don't know when, because women, if we had it all figured out, we would not be single in the numbers that we're single. If we had it all figured out, we wouldn't be. You can talk all of that stuff that you want to about how 1940s and all this and all of that, but it's a cop out. The fact of the matter is men are not as obsessed with you as they once used to be. And that's a problem for you because there were a lot more men just accepting whatever women said and whatever women did because we're women. So they were like, look, I mean, that's why they still ain't walking around talking about some I don't need a woman. They don't say, men don't say that kind of stuff. I don't need a woman. I don't need a woman. Because at the end of the day, that's one thing, and I'm not agreeing with this mindset, but there's one thing that a man always know he gonna need from a woman. So he's not about to be so quick to say, I don't need a woman. Now he might not settle down, and we gotta look at we really do have to talk about that and have that conversation. Not that we haven't, but that's the conversation we need to be having. Why aren't we settling down? But at the same time, he's not going around here saying, I don't need a woman. That's women saying that. So now you have men saying, well, y'all feeling like this about us. Then let me just be honest about how I feel about women. Y'all stuff stank too. Like y'all got some stuff, y'all need to work some kinks out too. Some of these responses are coming from places of trauma, ladies, and we haven't healed. So we walking around, bitter. Yeah, I know y'all don't like for us to say that, but yes, some of us are bitter. Some of us are resentful. Some of us are carrying heavy loads of baggage from past relationships, from the fact that we grew up without our fathers and all the things. And some of them we did not have any control over. And I totally understand that. But what you do have control over is whether or not you healed from it. And we're not healing from it. We're not doing the work. We're not healing. And yes, point blank, period. It's really coming off like y'all just don't like men. This man was just telling y'all how he grew up and his purview of what a female is, what he saw around him, what his grandma showed him, what his mama showed him, whatever. And he was just telling you from his POV what he feel a woman is like, not this boss B mentality that we seeing out here. And I'm all for it because if I hear boss B again, I might puke. Like I'm sick of that coming out y'all mouth. Because I don't know when it became okay for a woman to ever look at herself as a B. I don't care if Beyonce said in the song. I really don't. Listen, the only time I'm accepting something like that is if Jesus said it. But I know he ain't going to say that because he told y'all keep them words out y'all mouth. But yet, it's okay for y'all to walk around and call yourself Bs. That's crazy to me. No, you shouldn't want to own that title. That's foolishness. But it's okay for you to be a boss B. But then when somebody tell y'all you ain't got your ish together because you can't even cook a hot meal, not forget for a man, not even for yourself, then you offended. That offends your sensibilities. Y'all need to cut it out. That what that man said was his opinion, and he's got the right to say that. And y'all wrong for dragging that man like that because he said what y'all didn't like. Y'all got offended. But when it's the other way around and it's women popping off their mouth all the time about what men not doing, then it's all good, right? Y'all need to stop that. Y'all need to stop that. And you know what? At the end of the day, ladies, instead of focusing on what a man is saying, or I should say it even like that, because you do actually need to be listening to men out here when they make comments like that, and you need to be running that across your self-examination meter and figuring out how you stack up. Because that man married. Okay? Some of these women that you're talking about, oh, they this, they that, they married. They in serious long-term relationships. Women, Black men are not marrying you. Black women, Black men, and I'm speaking in general, are not marrying you right now. You need to understand why that is. That is your problem. That is the issue. Your own men aren't marrying you right now like that. You need to be figuring out why. Stop getting mad every time a man open up his mouth. You might learn something.
There it is. There it
Instead
is.
of pass it on to somebody else.
Come on with it, C Prince. I see that look on your face, man.
I think the only thing I took out of Cam Newton's speech was they can't cook. He said, I don't care how much money they got. They can't cook. They can't cater to me. Yeah, they some bad. But guess what? As far as being a woman, they got no qualities that he want. You keep your money, you keep your looks, because you can't feed me. That's what he basically said. So that's what I took it out. So I'm thinking like it was funny to me. He was like, I don't need your money. I got my own. I just need you to feed me, make me a pancake or something. But you can't do that. So I think that's real funny.
Yeah, like I said, the brother was just keeping it real. I said, shout out to Winfred. I think he just joined us. Winfred, you with us, man? The brother was just keeping it real. I said, shout out. Oh, you got a little feedback, man. But yeah, no, like I said, I think he was just, like I said, at the end of the day, there was a lot of valid things that he said, right? And there's a couple points out of what he said that I want to touch. So the first one is once again, I need some female who is watching this show to tell me, why is it such a problem for a man to voice his opinion or his preference? Like, I need to know that, like, seriously, because at the end of the day, you know, we talk about the lack of communication, because I hear this from women all the time. Women are always talking about men don't know how to communicate. Men are horrible communicators, right? But then you have a man trying to communicate something to you and you shut him down. Yep. And then in the same breath, then you come back and you say, men are holding stuff in. They don't want to be vulnerable with you, right? But then you have a man who comes out and tells you how he feels, and he gets dragged for it. So I need some lady who was watching this to make that make sense for me. Yeah, why is it that when a man speaks up and he has something to say, does he have to get shut down? Like, I really need to know that, especially a black man, because I see it happening to brothers left and right. As soon as a brother say something that doesn't go against the quote unquote norm, he got to get shut down. But let me do this real quick, because I know we got some questions coming in. Winfred, you said you got some questions, man?
It's company here. I got a question for Chloe, because she talked about like healing, right? So I'm 26, and like, what if like you want to heal, or you have the desire to like be better, or like get over like past traumas and stuff, but you just really don't know how? Maybe like you haven't been taught how, or like, what do you do, or like what can you do, or how can you get like over that and not know how to get over it?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. I appreciate that question, actually. I think that you knowing, first of all, you being able to identify and accept that there are some things that you need to get past. That might sound corny, but it is really literally the first step, because some of us are walking around and we're not even self-aware enough to know that there's a problem. So the fact that you know that there's a problem, that right there. I think also some people don't want to go like the counselor route, and I can respect that. I'm a spiritual person, so I'm always going to look to my creator first. He is my counselor, but at the same time, it's nice to have someone to talk through these issues with, be it somebody who's been through similar issues that are specific to what you've been through, or someone who maybe is where you are, where you want to be. And you can talk to that person and find out how they were able to heal past their traumas, because a lot of us are dealing with similar things. And I think that what we should be doing is, when we learned how to heal, we should be reaching back and sharing that with the community, which is why we have these conversations. Like what we know and what we learn, we're supposed to share it. It's unfortunate that anybody, like, you would be in a situation where you're like, I don't even know how to get there. Like there should be other women that would be willing to share their experiences with you to help you understand how to get there. So I'm not, I am, not by any means calling myself any type of expert. But I am a work in progress. There's a lot I've had to heal from. So I mean, I don't know your name, but I'm raising my hand to be someone that, if you need somebody to talk to, or you need to have those conversations or explore that, then I'm available. Um, Otherwise, yeah, I would suggest that someone who is dealing with trauma, regardless if it's even something as simple as I've been in bad relationship after bad relationship, and I'm just trying to forgive and move forward and not carry that with me, not carry the bitterness and the resentment with me, even if it's something just as common as that. I would say you just need to be able to talk to somebody who's been through that and who was able to get past it, so that you also can get the keys on how you can get past it. I think that helps. I think having someone to be able to, that you trust, that can almost, for lack of a better word, mentor you. I think that is helpful. So if you don't have anyone that you feel comfortable doing that way, you don't know me, obviously, but I'm raising my hand to be a resource for that, because that's something that I'm really, really passionate about, being that I had my own traumas. I had things I had to be delivered from. So I understand that process. But I think that those two things is having somebody around you who has gotten past it. Sometimes we tend to talk to the people around us, but they might be suffering from the same traumas, right? They suffer from the same things we're trying to get over, but they are dealing with those same issues. So they can't really help us because they're dealing with trauma as well. We need to be around somebody who is healing or healed, so that they can help us get to that same point. So that would be my biggest piece of advice, is find someone who you can confide in, that you can trust, that is maybe where you want to be. And then, they can be a mentor for you, and they can help be a resource for you. If you're not necessarily wanting to go the route of a counselor, or a therapist, or that type of thing. And some people can't do that. So that's why I say it's always nice to have somebody that you trust to be able to confide in, that can walk you through what that looks like.
All right. Did that answer your question at all, company? Or you still anything else you want to say?
Yeah, and if you want to reach out to me personally, my you can hit me on IMC Price. IMC Price. I'll give you my email, and that is basically that tag. That line is my name across all social media. IMC Price, and my email is imcprice@gmail.com. So if you want to reach out to me, ask me any additional questions or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And my name is Danielle too, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Danielle.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. All right, now glad you joined us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so listen, this, let me just take a minute. The exchange that just happened right there, right? This is one of the main reasons why we do this show. At the end of the day, in order to address some of these situations we're dealing with, or some of these issues within the community, we have to have conversations. And let's say not just in private, not just amongst the family. You have to involve people from different walks of life, different ages, different experience levels, males, females, you name it. You got to put all that together, hash it out, and that's how you move forward. So Les, I appreciate the question. I appreciate, Chloe's response and her support offering. I said, that's how we get there. Yep, that's what it looks like right there. What we just saw. That's what it looks like. But yeah, no, I'm like I said, this is just one of those topics, because I don't know if a lot of our women know that is how some of this is being interpreted, as if, our women hate our men. And like I said, we're not going to be able to move forward as a collective if that is what we are doing. Like I said, it's just not going to work. Yep. At the end of the day, like I said, I know, Cam is the topic for tonight. Cam should be able to voice his preference, his opinion, his views, based on his experience. He should be able to do that. Yep, and that should be fine. I said that shouldn't get him dragged for saying that essentially he wants a traditional woman. It's really all he said. Yeah, but that is literally getting him dragged through the mud right now. And it shouldn't be that way. Yeah, but the same goes for females. Females should be able to give their preference, their opinion, and so forth, and they shouldn't get dragged for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they shouldn't get dragged for it. Like I said, that's just not going to get us anywhere. And like I said, if that's what we're going to be doing, then we can't go back and complain that the opposite sex does not know how to communicate. Like that don't work. That doesn't add up. So yeah, that's a whole problem right there for me. But I want to touch on something else that Cam said in his video that I think is an issue as well. And it is this whole concept of the boss B and the bad B. Yep, that's a whole problem. Yep, that is a whole problem. At the end of the day, if a woman, and this is my personal opinion, if a woman feels like she has reached a level of success, I don't know why you would badge of honor being a bad B. Like I don't see that. That just doesn't make sense to me. We go around and we're talking about uplifting, and I hear a lot of the king and queen lingo being thrown around, but then we circle back and now we want to be a bad B. Like I don't understand that. Yep, I don't understand that. And shout out to Nicole for joining us. She said, "Where did those terms come from?" And you know what, Nicole? I'm gonna tell you where they came from. They came from derogatory songs, derogatory language amongst each other.
Yeah.
Yep, our people have this thing that we like to do. We like to take derogatory words and put our own little twist on it and make it cool. And I'm not sure how that even works. Yep, I'm not sure how that even works. We went from the point of a female being pissed off if a man calls her the B word to the point where now she's a bad B. And it's a good thing. Like, so yeah, the stuff just doesn't make sense. And like I said, it is definitely not a badge of honor. And then two, for the context of this discussion, and ladies, I'm just gonna put it to you like this, because I like to keep it real. I like to keep it real with the ladies. Ladies, ain't no dudes out here that's serious running around looking for no bad bees. Let me just go ahead and shut that down now. Ain't no dudes, especially the ones I know. Because ladies keep talking about they want dudes with this amount of money. Ain't no dudes that I know running around here talking about they want a bad beat. And let me say something else too. I'm gonna get this one in too. Ain't no dudes that I know running around here talking about they want no boss B either. I'm just keeping it real, ladies, because at the end of the day, that's what we do on this show. Yeah, let me just lay it out for the ladies like this. It's my job. Ladies, all I keep hearing is fellas saying that they do not care how much money you make. That's all I keep hearing. Dudes do not care how much money you make. Dudes don't care about degrees and nothing else. They're looking for certain character traits and characteristics from the women that they are pursuing or that they look to pursue. Ain't no dudes that I know running around here talking about they want no boss B either. I'm just keeping it real, ladies, because at the end of the day, that's what we do on this show. Yeah, let me just lay it out for the ladies like this. It's my job. Ladies, all I keep hearing is fellas saying that they do not care how much money you make. Dudes do not care how much money you make. They're looking for certain character traits and characteristics from the women that they are pursuing or that they look to pursue.
Yeah.
So all of the boss B, the boss babes, the whatever you want to call it, I don't think the dudes is checking for that like you think they are. And I'm just gonna put it like that for now. I'm just trying to drop some gems on y'all so y'all know what it is. So y'all not spinning y'all wheels and wasting y'all time. The stuff that you are holding in high regard, from what I keep seeing, dudes literally can care less.
Right.
Just putting it out there. Just so you know. You want to say something, Chloe?
Yeah, I wanted to share something that I came across that I thought was really, I feel like she just summed it up really well. Um,
There it
yeah,
is right there. Let me
yeah.
read this comment. So this
Hmm.
comment from Wilfred Hatton, he said, nobody asked for it. Independence doesn't make you a boss. We want responsible adults.
Right. Basically. Yeah.
Appreciate that, Wilfred. Appreciate that, man. All
And
right, go ahead, Chloe.
then so this post, and this was posted. I can't take credit for this. This was posted by a young lady named Kelly M. Bode, right? And it's just something that when I saw it, I was like, okay, I gotta share this. So if you don't follow me on my Instagram, IMC Price, like I shared this. But basically, this is what she's saying. She's saying if you want him to lead, she's talking to the ladies. If you want him to lead, right, you have to learn the art of following. There might be some discomfort around those words for you. Even that's worth looking at, right? Because if you feel uncomfortable hearing things like, ladies, you have to know how to follow, if that makes you feel uncomfortable, then you have to examine yourself and say, why does the idea of following a man, that I do want the man to be the head of the household, I do want him to lead, then why should it make me feel uncomfortable to follow, right? She goes on to say, because we want a partner in his masculine essence, but we're triggered about the idea of actually following his lead, which is exactly the issue. Lead, guide equals masculine energy. Follow and receive equals feminine energy. So some examples of leading could be planning things, making decisions, open a door for you, providing financially and emotionally, protecting, saying no to something that doesn't serve the relationship. Examples of following could be appreciating what he planned instead of criticizing, letting him, so he picks the restaurant and then you complain about the restaurant. Some examples of letting him provide and protect you instead of blocking him is saying you don't need his help when he wants to help you, right? Another example of, if he says no to something that maybe you're passionate about or you're something that you're wanting to do, instead of taking it personal, you can say, well, you know what, he must have had a good reason for feeling that way or for saying no. So I need to talk to him though and just let him know how I feel about this particular issue or this particular thing, right? So it's about mindset. And I know you guys know I've said that before on the show. Like it really is about our mindset. And in 2022, like knowledge is like there's so much knowledge literally at our fingertips. Like we literally can type in anything in our phones and here's a bunch of research about any given topic, any given time. So I just feel like there's so much knowledge out there. Yet I feel like we're getting less and less knowledgeable. And we're not taking advantage of it, right? Because we want to stay stuck in these mindsets of whatever I want, whatever I think, whatever I like. That's it. I'm not open to anybody else's opinion, anybody else's, POV. Is just all about me and how I feel and what I like. There's nothing wrong, ladies, with being in a position of submission. Submission does not equal that a man is supposed to run over you or run you into the ground or it don't equal slave. If that's a man's idea of submission, then that's the wrong man. Because in a relationship where submission exists, you submit to him, but there is a level of submission that he has to do to you in order to really lead in that process, because he has to be willing to uh you know make certain sacrifices and meet you in this process. So I just feel like, maybe it's our language. Maybe we have to stop speaking of it and giving it a negative connotation. When Cam says stuff like you need to be able to, cater to your man. Didn't Beyonce make a whole song about this? Didn't Destiny Child make a whole song cater to you? And y'all ladies running around singing that song. All of a sudden it was okay. 5 seconds ago, it was okay for ladies to cater. We was singing a song. Oh, let me cater to you. Let me fix you some eats. Let me do this. We was talking about that, right? It was the thing to do. Now in 2022, you don't want to cater no more.
But what's funny? What's funny about that point that you just made? So even in that example, the ladies today are picking and choosing. So if Cardi or one of the other female artists gets on here and tells you to be a boss chick, you don't need no ninja, then the ladies will follow that. But then in your example, you got Beyonce giving you a whole song talking about cater to you, but the ladies don't want to follow that. So it's like now we even picking and choosing what celebrity females that we gonna roll with based on what content that they are, spreading within their songs. And shout out to Vincent Williams for joining us, man. What's good with you, brother? So yeah, it's just interesting altogether. But I see we got some viewers on here right now, so I gotta ask this question. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna let C Prince go first. Go ahead, C Prince. I see you rubbing them hands. Go ahead, C Prince.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm just paying attention. I'm listening to this conversation. I'm listening to, I'm looking at like, why do they call us out our names and all this stuff? Listen, I'm a firm believer. Just because they call you out your name, you don't got to answer to it. But since you women are answering to it, don't blame the men because you don't have to answer what they call you. Hands down. So since you answering to it, word. Don't be ashamed of what they call you because you call yourself that. Because how many times have you introduced yourself as that to a man in a conversation? So guess what? Don't be offended. They call you by what you call yourself. 100%. I don't see no fault in it. I don't use the word myself, but guess what? If that's how you represent yourself and that's how you want me to address you, and you keep referring to yourself, guess what? I don't deal with them anyway. I'm gonna leave your butt alone because you can't call you by your own name. Why should I call you by your name? And I'll leave your little raggedy butt alone.
Oh,
this guy. Man, let me get this comment. Let's see. Winfrey Haddon said, yes, successful couples marriages I've seen involve men who know how to surrender certain powers to their women that I would define as some level of submission as well. Behind every powerful man, that saying has merit. And that is very true, Winfrey. That's very true. Like I said, there's a level of submission that takes place on both sides. But like I said, a lot of our women today, it's almost like, submission is just, it's like kryptonite or something. It's like a bad word. And I'm just trying to figure out how do we get to that point? But I got to ask this question since we got some viewers on right now. I got to ask this question. So ladies, I need y'all to keep it real. Do y'all really want a man to lead y'all? Yeah, I'm gonna keep it basic like that. Yep. Do you really want a man to lead you? Because what I'm seeing is the men who possess leadership qualities also possess masculine energy. And what I see all the time now is a lot of our ladies do not like men with masculine energy. Yep, they don't like men to voice their opinions. They don't like men to be vocal. They don't like men to stand up and be firm in their positions. Like they don't like anything masculine. So I have to go back to the question, as ladies keep saying, I'm looking for a man to lead me. I'm looking for a man to lead the household. Is that really what y'all looking for? Somebody tell me something. I welcome any lady who is watching right now, because I can see that there's a few of them. I welcome somebody to tell me what's up with that. I need to know something. You want to say something? Go ahead.
So yes, but it's scary. Like I don't know. It's different, especially if you had like past situations where you allowed the man to lead and he fumbled and he didn't know how to lead, and then that caused the whole household to just fumble or like crumble or whatever. Like it just was bad. So now you meet somebody or you have that, and it's hard to like allow, or it's hard. So you may want it, but it's hard.
Okay. Go ahead, Steve Prince. Go ahead, man.
Y'all know y'all don't want me to answer this question for you women, but I'm gonna do it for you. I'm gonna tell the truth. Yes, a woman wants a man to lead. Straight to that bank account and straight to that bedroom. That's it. Them the two things that women want to know. Is what your emotion in the ocean and what that account balance is. Hands down, guess what? Because guess what? I'm going to tell you like this. If that was not true, look at all these single women out in this world. And look at all these dudes flashing what they got. They ain't presenting themselves. They present their wealth. I understand this. So guess what? Yeah, they want to lead just for the money and their sex life. Because women be talking about that. That's one of the conversations women had. That dude ain't jack, but his money is right. Or his money ain't right, but he can swing wood like King Kong. Understand this. I'm going to tell you like it is. So women, y'all might hate me, but I'm going to tell you the truth. There's only two things y'all want a man for nowadays, and that's finance and romance. Forget everything else because it doesn't matter. Point blank.
Okay. All right. So, I hear what you're saying, C. Prince. So even with what you just said, I got a problem. And I'm going to go back to the young lady. I'm going to go back to the young lady right after this. Then we're going to go over to Nicole. So I still got a problem with what you just said, C. Prince. So you said that the ladies, all they want now is your finances and your manhood. So that's basically what you just said. So my question to that is if that is the case, if the ladies only want men now for the finances and the manhood, then why do they get so triggered when a man say he wants you to cook and clean? So based on what you just said, they got some things that they want from a man. But when men say that they want a woman who cooks and cleans, especially in 2022, he getting jumped on.
I want to answer that question because the woman did not present herself that she was going to cook and clean. She did not come into that relationship saying, I'm cooking and clean for you. So guess what? You have breached the contract when she says, I'm just taking your money and the romance. But when you start talking about cooking and cleaning and that wasn't part of the original agreement, I don't blame the women for getting mad. Because guess what? When they came to this situation, you dished out the dough. You broke their backs. You did what they want. And then you got the audacity to change the contract and say, would you cook for me? I'm telling you. So if they breach the contract, that is the man's fault. Because guess what? The first thing I'm going to ask in a conversation, do you cook and do you clean? Most men don't even ask that question no more. And if they do, oh, you don't cook that much, we go out to eat. There's a contract right there. You told her you're going to feed her. So why should she feed your raggedy butt? Because you didn't, she tricked you.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
But what happened to, so listen. Okay, I hear what you're saying. And I'm not disagreeing that you should start. There's an old saying that you start things how you want them to go, right? Don't be going into nothing, promising somebody flowers every this day and champagne dinners every this day, and then you can't keep it up. Don't start that if you can't do that. So I feel you. But I'm also saying, ladies, why aren't we learning how to do some of this stuff just for ourselves? Like, so you up in your own place, you up in here, you don't even know how to cook for yourself. It's like, why we not? When did we come away from knowing how to take care of ourselves? I mean, I hear what you saying, Prince, but I just don't understand it. Because for me, it's a drop ball on the ladies side. Because I'm not saying she got to be a master chef. You ain't got to be no master chef. I'm just simply saying, like, you mean to tell me you can't cook a couple? You got a couple dishes that you know how to cook, sis? Like, I don't understand that. But okay, I'll land.
Look, I don't fault no woman that goes into a relationship and she tell a man she can't cook or clean. I fault the man for staying because that's what he know he want a woman to cook and clean. So if the woman don't cook and clean, that is his fault. It ain't the woman's fault. And I'm gonna tell you, sisters, if you continue to deal with men that say they don't have a problem with you not cooking clean, and then they try to switch the contract on you, you should get mad because they switched your agreement. You didn't go in there and talk about I'm cooking cleaning for you. I ain't washing no damn clothes neither. You know, all I came here for a meal and some money. And guess what? I don't fault the women for doing what they do because they let their business be known. So guess what? Don't blame the woman, blame the man.
Man, you capping, man. You so much cap going on right now. Go ahead, Winfrey, man. Go ahead and say what you want to say, man.
So, just per my comment, I think it's specific men and women, right? So you mentioned something about I forget if it was you or C Prince. Someone said about, flash. I think it was C Prince said, you flash the money, you flash the objects, you get the girl, right? It's real simple from a very basic standpoint, like a Floridian take on it. It works for certain engagements. If you're looking for something, lasting, or if marriage and lifelong partnership is what you're looking for or aspiring, that's probably not what you're going to get, what I'm saying, the lifelong. However, as we talk about like modern women and modern men, it's a standard. There's a weird standard in like the dating space, and you kind of luck up when you find people that aren't driven by that. But the vast majority of it, just go to the bar, go by yourself, go to a bar, go to a restaurant by yourself, observe any of the dates happening, any of the couples, just kind of see what the vibe is. And I think a lot of it kind of leads back to Black folks we don't go to therapy, we come from broken families. We don't go look backwards and see, what our trauma is. We don't know to do it. We don't know how to do it on our own. I'm not necessarily calling it a lack of resources, but in a lot of ways it is, because you may not know how or where to start with that. And it's like, oh yeah, you're really only gallivanting because you never got attention at home. And so now you're an adult and you've got some money behind you, so you can afford to gallivant, and that attracts this person. Let me see if that's going to be my relationship. Oh, no, it's not. It was really shallow. Why? Because it's very basic. But I think you got to kind of look back at how we came to the modern man and modern woman as far as those relationship goes. I don't think a lot of women wanted to embody the whole boss chick thing or the bad bee, the bad bee, as you say. Like, I think it came out of there was a lack somewhere, and this is an overcompensation.
Man, I'm gonna tell you this, man. So I will say this. I slightly agree with that last point you make. So I do think a lot of the ladies did embrace the bad bee culture, the boss bee culture, right? Because at the end of the day, we have a situation now where a lot of our women are making money now, right? And I'm gonna be honest with you, all I see now is competition. I see a whole bunch of Black women competing with Black men. And I think in turn, what ends up happening is because Black women and Black men are now competing with each other, now we want to demasculate or emasculate the male. So now what we're seeing is a situation where we have a lot of our women, and that due to a couple factors, upbringing, past experiences, and so forth. Now we have a situations where a lot of our women are very masculine now. So now you have the masculine women And essentially that is the badge of honor. I am now a boss B. I am now a boss chick. You know, we have a lot of women that have, you know, own companies now. They may own online boutiques, what have you. But now that has become the badge of honor. You know, and then we have a lot of, you know, celebrity women now. This is the mantra now. You know, the Coach Stormies and the Alexis Skies, and then, I mean, we got the Cardi B's. Like we got plenty of that now, right? So now, you know, a lot of our ladies, that's what they strive for. And I think that's, you know, partially the issue in that is we don't have a lot of ladies still modeling what a traditional woman, feminine woman looks like. Like that has taken the back burner to the boss B, you know, boss chick, bad B culture.
Who
where are
would
all
be
of the
that-
go ahead, Weber.
I'm sorry. Who would be that example for women?
That's my point. So see, now that pool is limited, right? So we don't see a lot of examples of feminine women. We don't see a lot of examples of traditional thinking women. We don't see a lot of examples of women speaking on the importance of taking care of home or taking care of children, or all of these vital things that are vital to our existence and our generations, you know, ahead of us. Like now that example is missing. And at the end of the day, I'll be honest with you, Winfred, a lot of ladies today, they frown upon that. Yeah, they frown upon feminine women. They frown upon, you know, women who are stay-at-home moms. They frown upon women who, you know, see value in wanting to be home and take care of their children. Like they frown upon that.
Do you think they look at do they frown upon that because they view that as a form of weakness, or a form of being less independent? And if so, why is that bad? Who said it was bad? And who said it was bad? I please, Chloe.
I mean, I appreciate your questions first and foremost, okay? Because these are real questions that need to be answered, because this is how you get down to the root of something, right? By asking the right questions. And at the end of the day, I think what's happening is we are this modern man, modern woman, like you said, we don't look at things the same way, right? Like our mentors now, the people we look up to are, like, I hate to say it, but a lot of times it's celebrities. It's like what we're seeing in the industry. It's like Instagram models and or you know, Instagram millionaires, or people who, I hit a lick doing trading. I hit a lick, mining or whatever. Like these are the people that we now look up to, right? So it's about what they're saying is hot. It's about how they got there. It's about their journey. And if we're looking up to these people might not even share the same moral code that we share. Yet we are looking to them for them to pattern how we should live our lives, because we see something else about them that we like. We see that they living well. It looks like they're living well. It looks like they've accomplished some things. So because we see that, right, now we want to take advice from this person, because really that's where we're trying to get. Whereas it's not about what they can show you. It's about their life. And we don't really know what none of that looks like. So when Cardi B is telling us, she's popping off about her money and her this, her that, but this is a woman who went back to a known cheater who has gotten women pregnant while he's been with her. But she gonna tell you how to, ride dudes, and she gonna tell you how she was dancing and stripping, and she gonna tell you all this and sell you this lifestyle. But that's not, she a housewife, basically. When she ain't rapping, she a housewife.
I'm glad you made that point, because she's not the only one. Let's be real.
She's not.
Most of the ones, I mean, like I look back, the big deceit was, Future was like Percocet, Molly Percocet. Wasn't doing no drugs.
Right.
People out here on pills to this day, just glorifying it. That was one of those songs that it blew my mind how much people adopted just pill popping culture from someone who that's not what they live. But on the female side, it seems as though most of the women talking about, I mean, city girls in a relationship or
Right.
pregnant, Cardi B, whole completely married. You have, I mean, hell, even Meg the Stallion
Right.
going steady in a relationship seems to be, you know what I'm saying? It's smoke and mirrors, but we have the follow culture, and it could be good, but I don't know if it's gonna ever actually be what it's supposed to be, or if it's just we just kind of going down the rabbit hole of watching it balloon and spiral out of control until censorship is like crazy or something. I don't know, but it's all smoke and mirrors for sure, especially from Hollywood.
Yeah, and I think that we're spending too much time looking up to and in a way idolizing this behavior. Like we really are. And the problem is, why are you making those people your models or to follow, or your mentors, or idolizing those people? Like I was saying earlier, like for a woman who really is trying to get somewhere, like why aren't we finding women around us in our community who are where we want to be? Why are we finding that? Like, why are we finding the woman who's been in a marriage? Okay, maybe she do got a good job, they have a couple kids and they making it all work. You know what I'm saying? They live in a real lifestyle that's real and tangible and valid. Like, why aren't we talking to that woman saying, it just, how do you do all that? Like, how did you get to this point where you're able to do all of that? And having her, school you or be a resource for you. Why aren't those your mentors? Why are you making these people that you don't know if any of this stuff that they're saying to you or selling you is real? Like, why are you making those people your mentors? And then you're getting disappointed because you're not getting where they are. So now, the people around you that are living the real life, they become your enemies or your competition. And I just feel like it's unrealistic. And we're developing these unrealistic expectations for life, for our partners, just for what it's supposed to look like. It's just all unrealistic and it's unhealthy.
I think that comes from the fact that the only ones that you can see that are posting and publicizing every aspect or what they want you to believe is an entire whole view of their lives are the ones that are lying. But the ones that are actually in, committed, healthy relationships, however you wish to define it, I don't think you can just go online and find a whole lot of them because they're wrapped up in their family. They're wrapped up in their passions. They're wrapped up in their spirituality, what their interests. It's just not for the world. Family is what it is. As much as we are easily reachable and can be connected online, I don't think you're going to see much real still, even on TV. You're not going to broadcast a whole lot of real. You're going to find areas and bits and pieces and spots on the internet and the news of real, but it's wrestling, right? It's the WWE. It's like, oh yeah, maybe that person hurt themselves that time, but this was all still it's a stage. It's all set up.
Let me grab this comment, then I'm gonna go to see Prince. Nicole said, I don't think those women are mentoring.
That's a problem.
And you know what, Nicole? I'm not sure about that.
I mean, go ahead, baby.
The reason I'm saying that is because what I have learned is a lot of this is based off of excitement. And being a woman, being feminine, being traditional, for a lot of people, that ain't exciting. Yeah, they ain't out here, boss being with the mini skirt on, with the Louboutins. Like, they're at home taking care of a family, you know what I'm saying, raising successful kids. Like, that's not exciting. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's another piece that we got to throw in there. Probably another part of the reason why we don't see a lot of that being projected is because it ain't exciting. Yes, it's not the glamorous Cardi life. It's not the glamorous Black China with the Bentley outside. It might be mama with a Honda, but it ain't exciting. So that might be why we don't see a lot of that. But let me swing to see Prince, then I'm gonna slide over here to Vince. Vince, I see you want to say something. Go ahead, see Prince. I saw you rubbing them hands, man.
I was gonna let Vince go because I've been speaking. So go ahead, Vince.
Go ahead, Vince. You got it, man. Go ahead.
How y'all doing today?
Doing well. How you doing, man?
Good. Well, to go all the way back to answering your question, do women hate men? I don't think it's an issue of hate. I think that they don't know men.
Oh. Okay, I can feel that. Go ahead.
In my experience, their father's not in the home, granddaddy dead. They don't really go to church, so you don't have and I think that's a big thing too, because I'm a different age range. I'm 45 and over. So I grew up in the church when the church was a real community. You knew your pastor, you knew the deacons, you knew the mother's board, and everybody could tell you something.
Right.
Church nowadays is so impersonal. It's 1,000 people and you don't know the pastor. And I remember going to Bible study where you learn certain things. You learn how to interact with girls and things of that nature. I think the real issue is that they don't really know men. And I put my wife up on this about 6 months ago. I said, pay attention to the shows that we watch and how they emasculate the black man. Mm-hmm. She never really paid attention to it till I told her something about it. Mm-hmm. I said, how many times do you see a quote unquote beta man with a strong black woman? Mm-hmm. That's all the shows. Mm-hmm. So I think as far as the mentors, I think that even in my own situation, my wife always said, why do you care so much? Why? Because I think people who know, they kind of understand that people going to do what they want to do anyway. So why even say anything? Honestly, I think people just like, you know what? People going to do what they want to do. And they're going to look at me and say, well, you know, everybody is special butterfly and, everybody to each his own, and your situation is different than mine. And nobody really wants to take constructive criticism. Nobody wants to be accountable for the decisions that they've made. So I think a lot of people who have quote unquote figured it out just keep it to themselves.
Mm. To piggyback on that though, I'll speak from my own personal experience. And we did talk about this a little bit during the last week's show about accountability. So if you guys haven't seen that, you should watch that. We talked about accountability and people not really wanting to take accountability. And I think that's a large part of this, because I have a whole blog and I do shows like this. And Quay hosts them for me, and I don't do them on any type of regularity. It's literally when I feel led and moved to talk about a subject matter. And I can count on one hand how many women tap into that show. And I'm literally, you want to talk about giving keys? Whenever I come before people, I don't even consider myself a teacher, but at the same time, the things that I have learned, the experiences that I have had, I'm always trying to share, because I feel like if I would have known some of the things that I know now, could I've maybe avoided some of the mistakes or pitfalls that I made, right? So I'm like, shoot, maybe somebody else needs this. But it's amazing to me how little people care. If you go to my Instagram, and I'm not just trying to promote myself, I'm just simply saying I use my social media for these reasons. This is why I use my social media. Like, I'm not on there, taking a bunch of selfies, and I use it to reach people, like, legitimately. And when I make posts like that, nobody is engaged. But I can post my meal and it get all the likes. And like, I go back to what Quay was saying, like, if it's not entertaining to you, you almost don't want to hear it. But everything that somebody says to you that is of value isn't always going to be good to hear, nice to hear. It's not always going to be entertaining. It might take a video that's longer than 5 minutes with the microwave, mentality. Like I might, what I have to say to you might be longer than a five minute video. It might take me 15 minutes to tell you this, but it's keys. It's something that I literally probably went through, had to learn from, and it's valuable enough where I feel like I need to share it. And I feel Vince, because sometimes you get to the point where you're like, I'm speaking to people, they don't want to hear it. What I'm saying, they don't want to hear. Why I'm wasting my time, my energy, and my resources doing this? But then at the same time, I go, but no, that's not how we're supposed to be. Because there might be, even if it's just one person that watches that video or engages with that content, one person that learns something from it or is able to take something from it, or it plants a seed, then it's worth it. That's one whole person. That one person is valuable. So that's why you keep doing shows like this. That's why you keep posting serious, real, genuine content. That's why you keep reaching out to people. That's why you do that. Because it's for that one person or two people or whatever it is that you're actually reaching. I don't know that we should be necessarily, I hate the fact that we've become like this social media, and now people feel like that's the only place they can go as a resource is the social media. Like, I feel like there should be people around you in the community that's willing to do this stuff too. It shouldn't just have to be that your only outlet to get to these things are social media. But unfortunately, this is the age that we're in, right? So like this is how so many people can be connected at one time through social media. So I get it, but I do feel like I do understand why some women are saying, how do I get the help, right? Because there's the lack of resources around them. So I mean, I get it. Like I mean, I just think it's unfortunate.
I think people.
See Prince, you next, man. Go ahead, Will.
I'm sorry.
No, you good. We'll go to see Prince right after you. Go ahead, man.
We really don't have a lack of people with this information that are able to reach out and connect. And like, as Chloe and Vince were saying, like, a lot of people don't want to hear it. And it's because I think a lot of social media has transitioned to, like Quay said, it's got to be exciting or entertaining, or it's got to be making you some money. Because if it's not making you some money, yeah, sure, you can swipe on your phone and go check your screen time and be like, damn, I was swiping on Facebook or Instagram for 4 hours today. Like, what the hell was I doing? How did that happen? Well, it happens all the time, but it's entertainment all day long. And then it's something, oh, maybe this can make me some money. Let me pay attention to it. But if we're talking, hey, telling people focus on, your mental health. Hey, focus on your mindset. Focus on, just something for yourself to build you up to be able to handle the money that can come and how to, and whatever may come from it. Not nobody, but a lot of people just don't want to hear it. And I think when I was a kid, and like Quay, like my dad had me around computers for kindergarten on forward, right? But the first kind of video games I knew were like Math Blaster, Mavis Beacon, the all that stuff, because somebody somewhere figured out, hey, kids don't want to sit in class. It's not exciting. It's not entertaining. So let's breed this generation of 90s babies to come about and learn how to do math and read and have your hooked on phonics and make it a game. Make it fun, exciting, entertaining. I'm the Pop-Tarts and, sugar for breakfast generation. This is me. This is had to work backwards as becoming an adult. Like, whoa. We see the mistake, and there's been a major overcorrection in it with people trying to adjust and do different. But there was a whole period of time where, as the technology was coming up, people getting PCs in the home, people getting, dial up, regular access to the internet, it was all about grab your attention. This is why I want you at the computer. I want you at this phone. I want you at this screen on the internet, because it's all about entertainment. Now, there were those of us like, I understood, you can use it for search engines, old school stuff, writing papers, a whole lot of educational information, but I had to sit down and really be taught that. And I think more times than not, we've gotten to just kind of shoving this same technology into people's faces, and they don't really know how to handle it. I used to sell cell phones, very good at it, but I also realized I put iPhones and Androids in people's hands that became addicted to whatever to their phones, and they don't use it for good productive reasons at all. A lot of people don't want to talk on their phone. They want their phone for the internet access to send text messages and to be entertained. So it's we're in a weird spot, but there's an overcorrection that happened, and I think a lot of it is to blame on how quickly technology developed and where we were as a society.
Feel that. Go ahead, C Prince.
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Listen, I don't think social media has corrupted the women. It exposed them to what they're being taught at home. It exposed them because, me and Vince old enough to know when we was younger, the women like, he's broke, he ain't got no money. The mother used to tell him, get you a good man, but he got to have money. Now, all of a sudden, social media is just put it out front. And now these women are speaking their mind like, I just want money. We wasn't used to hearing it. Now they're saying it all day and every day. You see what I'm saying? So they chasing that bag. That's the first thing they say. What you making? Da-da-da-da-da. Well, I need my hair and nails done and all that stuff like that. Listen here, woman. If you wasn't getting your hair and nails done before you met me, you're going to be that raggedy, bald-headed chick that I met talking to or having a conversation right now. I'm sorry. Wait, like that. I'm sorry, but I'm going to tell the truth. Because guess what?
Bruh.
Guess what? I'm going to tell you like this, women. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Because guess what? It ain't working. You know what I'm saying? And all you're going to do is keep on complaining. And guess what? By the time you realize to stop complaining, you're going to be old and useless to yourself and others. I'm going to tell you straight like that. Correct your actions. You need to get get the money. Build something. Build a healthy relationship or something. But other than that, keep on doing what you're doing. Because guess what? You're going to get the same results. And guess what? That's the definition of insanity. That's what I'm going to say.
Can I jump in right quick, Quay?
Go ahead, Vince.
I was just about to say that I think my problem is that I believe what people tell me. If people say that they want a relationship, I believe that. People say they want a better job, I believe that. So how my mind works is that if that is what you want, then let's make a blueprint on how to get it. And I think people do not want to change, men and women. I think, people want somebody to fit into their square hole in this round peg. My thing is, and it happened for me, I had to change some things about myself if I wanted a good relationship. I had to change some things about myself. It wasn't always on that other person. And sometimes with women, I think that it's a trust issue, and it's so far ingrained in us because we have to realize we on the second or third generation of single homes. And I push that point so drastically because my story, I was raised by a single mom. I married my high school sweetheart. We got divorced very early. I was a single dad. And then I met my wife, we married, we had a child, and I'm with that child every single day. And my mindset is so different now at 40. Well, I was 47 then than when I was 17 and 22. And that's part of the problem also. We have to be intentional with every relationship that we have. If it's personal, professional, we have to be intentional. And I think that we have been raised in this uh, just go with the flow mentality. And we don't understand, because I hear from most women when they talk about their past relationships. I said, well, did you go into it thinking that this was going to be your child's father? No, we was just hanging out having fun. And then he became your child's father. And then you started to think about parents and how we were going to parent after the situation came. You got married, then you thought about, well, what do I want from a husband or a wife? And that person is not that. So I think that a lot of it has to do with that. We don't teach our children relationships, personal, professional, or whatever. We only teach them go to school, get your education, but we don't teach them about relationships. And because our society is so divided now, they don't even get the relationships that a lot of us had in school, in social things like church and sports. And because everything is so, I even think about now, like I have teenage boys. They don't play outside. They don't ride their bike. They do nothing in the community. They don't know, and I live in a very diverse community of, they don't know their neighbors. I've seen other teenagers around the block. They don't know those teenagers. They stand in the house, they're on their phone, they're on the computer. Yeah, they have a few little friends, but their social skills are horrible.
I agree.
Can I jump in one thing? Because he said something I like. He said trust. I like that word trust. I love that word trust. Now, let me tell you, women, you always talk about it's hard to trust somebody. First thing, you know how to trust yourself. Hands down, you know how to trust yourself. Because guess what? When you get into a relationship with a man, you see that he's not the man with you. But you hear his lying mouth telling you that he want to be with you. And guess what? You don't use your common sense. Guess what? You don't trust your own God-given sense, knowing this man is not right for you. You know what you say? He was a dog when I met him. I'm on somebody.
Go ahead. I think it was Vince. Go ahead, man.
Hey, look, he was a dog when I met him. But guess what? Since I'm with him, I don't see that dog no more. But guess what? His tail's still wagging. He's still humping everything he can see. And then when he break your heart, you be like, why did he do that to me? No, why you do it to your damn self? That's what happened. Why you do it yourself? Because he showed you who he was. And I know, and I see dudes do the same thing. Oh man, I didn't know she was built like that. What? She was dogging out men before she got with you. But you thought you could change. So you see what the problem is? You think you could change somebody. Men and women. Guess what? When you see a dog settle down and stay home because somebody, he was ready to settle down and stay home. And vice versa with the woman. But guess what, women? There's more dogs out in the world because guess what? They know y'all believe that lying mouth too much.
Let me go to the young lady. I just want to make sure I had your name right. It was Danielle, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. You want to say something?
Yeah. So I only can speak for myself.
Okay.
I noticed that a lot of the times, like I get comfortable with having an enabler. So like dudes, they allow me to not be better, to just be like where I'm at. And then when I meet somebody that challenges me to be better, even if it's not for a relationship, like with them, just overall, like just want to see like me just be better and like get over things and just be a better person for myself. And then I have a 6-year-old and like for my daughter or whatever. It's weird, but I like it like a lot.
Okay. So let me hold on. Let me do this real quick. I'm glad that you said that. So let me do this real quick. So special note for the ladies. I'm glad Danielle just said what she said. Special note for the ladies. The right man is definitely going to challenge you. Let me keep it real. I'm sure Vince can vouch. I'm sure he can agree with this one. The right man is going to come along and he is going to challenge you and have expectations for you. Just that simple. See, Prince, I don't even want to hear it right now. See, Prince, I'm gonna keep it real.
It's about to go.
I'm just keeping it real. At the end of the day, like I said, I feel moved to help the ladies tonight. So I'm gonna give you the gems so you know it. So what Danielle just said is absolutely right. Yep. That right man, a man who's about his biz and is serious, he is going to come in and he is going to challenge you. Yeah, because at the end of the day, if he's serious about his business, he's going to know his value. And he is not going to put his value or risk it all for somebody who cannot move forward with him. So if we're gonna have any gems for the night, that was it right there. Yep, if
And
you ain't
ladies
being challenged,
don't accept the dude who is willing to go along with everything that you want. Do not
facts.
accept a dude that's willing to go along with everything that you want. Ladies, come on now. We know we're not always right. We are not always right. As much as we might want to think we know everything, we do not. And there's a reason why men were just made different and built different, right? We're supposed to balance each other out. We're supposed to give them that portion of energy that they don't have, right? That they don't need. We're supposed to come with that. And then they're supposed to meet us with what we don't have. And we're supposed to balance each other out. That doesn't mean that you can't exist on your own. I'm definitely not saying that. I'm simply saying in a relationship, there is supposed to be some give and take and a balance, right? And so you don't want a dude that's going to just go with everything that you say. You need somebody that is actually going to challenge you. You need somebody that is going to say, no, maybe we shouldn't do it that way. We should do it this way. Or I'm looking at this situation, like for me, my husband helps me in a way where we could literally be in the same exact situation and looking at the same thing, and he will see it in a completely different way than I see it. He just will see it in a different way. And then he'll present it to me and I'll go, oh, excuse me. I'll go, oh, I wasn't even thinking of that. I legitimately wasn't thinking it. I legitimately didn't see that, and that's what's important. Like, and he'll also will be in the scenario and I'll be thinking of it in a different way. And he'll be like, oh man, I didn't really think about it like that. Or, you know what, that makes sense. I didn't see that. We complement each other. And ladies, that's what you should be looking for too. You should be looking for a man that compliments you. And that man is not going to be a yes man. He's not going to be the man that's going to tell you everything that you want to hear. Don't look for that. I know we want to be right, but don't look for that. You don't want a guy that's going to tell you everything you want to hear.
Go ahead, Steve Prince, man. I'm about to get ready to rap after you, man. Go ahead, man.
You know I'm about to say. Now, women, let me tell you something. The wrong man know how to move you better than the right man. Point blank. Because that's why you stuck in unhealthy relationships. That's why you stuck. Because guess what? The wrong man knows how to move you. Because guess what? He know what he got. Somebody believing in his crap and stuff, he gonna keep you where he at. Because ain't nobody. Let me tell you something like this. The right man will open your eyes to your situation and make you build upon who you are with or without him. But if you happy because a man has opened your eyes, but when that man leaves you, guess what? You stuck again. That wrong man gonna come back and get your ass. I promise you. I promise you. If you don't know how to stand up by yourself, enjoy that good man. But make sure he understands that you there to compliment him or be his companion. But guess what? If that good man leaves you, you should be able to stand on your own feet. Because guess what? The wrong man is coming. Because guess what? Once they see somebody polish up that jewel, guess what? It's time to pounce. Oh, your heart broke? Hey, baby, check this out. Let me tell you something about yourself. He didn't see the good in you. I see it all day long. I see it. I know I ain't got no job. I got 10 kids and stuff, but that's them. But you and me can go far. Understand this. You know, the wrong man know how to move you.
Wow.
That's that old player talk. See that? Man, we at that time. I said we at that 10 o'clock count up here in the Midwest. I'm gonna take closing statements. Let's say shout out to everybody who joined us tonight. Special shout out to Danielle for joining us, getting on here and saying what she needed to say. I got a question for that, Danielle, but I'm gonna hold that to the end. So don't bail on us yet, Danielle. I got a question for you. We're gonna take closing statements before we get ready to get out of here. I'll start with the ladies first. We'll work our way around. So I'm gonna go to Danielle first. Danielle, you got anything you want to say in closing before we get ready to get out of here? I think you mute. Oh, there you
go. To see Prince, like you're absolutely right. Like I'm learning. I'm learning.
Bruh. Don't be agreeing with C Prince. Oh man. All right. I guess C Prince, he get one for the night. All right, we'll go up to Chloe next. You got anything you want to say in closing, Chloe?
Yeah, just for me, I think it's one of the first steps to really healing is and I said it earlier, it's just accepting that there is areas for opportunity when it comes to yourself. That's everybody, men and women. Like we all got something. None of us have it all figured out. And just understanding that. So then when somebody comes to you and says something, like watch the things that trigger you, because it's the things that trigger you. That's where you probably need to take a look at that and go, oh, why am I triggered about that? There's something there. Because something, especially when it's somebody that you don't even know, say something and you get triggered. You're like, they don't even know me. Like they ain't probably not even talking to me. Like, why am I triggered? Right. So that's when you know it. I got to pay attention to this over here because there's something here. Right. I feel like that's the first step to any type of healing process, is just being able to recognize the root, where the root of the problem is coming from. And then you know what direction to go in for healing, or who to talk to, or what the conversation should even be. I think that's an important step. And I want to encourage, like, ladies, for real, like, let's this year, we always have these, new year, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But like this year, let's prioritize our mental and emotional health this year. Like we always try to lose weight, we want to get slim, it's summer coming. But why don't we care as much about our mental and emotional health and really truly healing? Because a lot of it is trust. A lot of us are, as women, we once we've been hurt in a situation where we trusted someone, it's really hard to come back from that. And I just think that it's definitely possible, but we have to be open to it. And another thing I want to say, slightly different, when men start to talk, listen. It's okay to listen. You might not agree with everything that they say, and that's okay too. But don't just dismiss what is being said, because as women, when we start speaking, we want to be heard. But men want to be heard too. So when they start speaking and telling you what bothers them or what they like or whatever the case may be, listen before you respond, because there might be something there that you can take, you could take away. So I just think that's a tool in our getting to a place where we can at least communicate with each other just better, more productive.
Yep. True. All right, Vince, you got anything you want to say in closing, man?
I think that if you want something different, you have to do something different. Especially for those of us who are over 35, we have to understand that we have not, most of us have not been taught how to be in functional relationships. We just haven't been taught. So we have to forgive our parents, forgive our mothers, forgive our fathers who aren't there, or the mothers who aren't there, and just move on. And understand that the problem is in the mirror. The problem is in the mirror. And until you fix that, you're not going to get what you want. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. So if you've been doing the same thing for 30, 35, 40 years, and you haven't gotten the results that you want, you are insane. Deal with it, fix it, and move on. Because obviously what you're doing is not working. What I was doing was not working. Yes, I was a good guy and I worked hard and I made money, but my mindset was not in the right place for a healthy, functional relationship. And until I looked, until I got in that mirror and said, every person I chose was my fault, every situation I did was my fault. It wasn't about the woman because I chose her. It wasn't about the situation because I got into it. My credit was bad because I couldn't afford the stuff that I got. My driving record was bad because I wasn't paying my tickets. My relationship was bad because I chose the wrong woman. So until I took all the accountability, that's what I never say nothing bad about my ex-wife because I chose her. And until we say, it's our fault and we have to maybe get some therapy, talk to somebody so we can make better decisions. It's all about making better decisions.
Facts. No, I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. See, Prince. See you laughing already, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. I think women need to understand this. You are taught to submit to your man. Apparently, it's not working. Submitting. You must get an understanding with your man. Because guess what? If you have an understanding in the roles y'all going to have to each other, there ain't going to be no submission. Understand this. Hold on. There ain't going to be no submission. Understand this. If you have an understanding that y'all want to be together, y'all going to take the necessary steps to be together. Everybody has a role in life. And I think the problem with the word submission means somebody's greater than the other. I understand it. To submit means to give up something. A lot of people don't understand that. Hold on. Because guess what? Submission is not working. I'm saying it as from my point of view.
People aren't submitting. That's the problem.
Hold on. I'm telling women, if you don't like the word submission, go get an understanding. Make sure that y'all have a proper understanding of where y'all need to be and what y'all gonna do in each other's life. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? It might be the ugly word of submission that you do not like. But if somebody says we have an understanding, we married, I love this man, and stuff like that, we know our roles in our relationship, guess what? There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Because nowadays people want to be able to move the way they want to move with their love, the person they love, and do their things. A lot of people I know you see the panel don't agree with me with that word submission because they think everybody to submit. I'm gonna tell you that everybody to submit. That might not be your role. If that be in a relationship that you submit. That might not be how you want to be. You know what I'm saying? But if you have an understanding, then nothing, as long as it makes you happy, be happy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Man, let me let Vince respond, then I'm gonna close out, man. Go ahead, Vince.
Well, when we talk about submission, if we are Christians, it says wives submit to your husband. So I don't even believe in submission if you ain't married.
Right.
I don't think it applies.
Okay.
It said, wives, submit to your husbands, not your baby daddies, not your boyfriends.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're a husband, you have a responsibility legally and morally.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about submit, it's not an issue of being greater than, because we submit to our bosses, we submit
Right.
to our jobs for the
Right.
benefits of a check.
Mm-hmm.
My wife submits to me for a benefit of my protection and my provision.
Mm-hmm.
So
Preach.
she submits to get a benefit. See, people think submission is you're losing something. You submit to your job to get a check. We submit to our husband and wives to get a benefit of love, affection, protection, provision, nurturing. And see,
Yes.
I believe if you love your wife like Christ loved the church, you don't have no problem with her submitting. The problem is with some of us as men want to be the king and not do what the king do. The king take care of the castle and the everything. We want to be a fake king. We want to go live with our women, drive their cars, think expect for them to pay our wives, expect for them to pay. No, we do everything. Then you won't have no problem with submission. I've never had even with my girlfriends, I never had a problem with submission because I was a king and I did what a king do, and that's take care of everything. And until you get that mindset, you're gonna always feel like you slipping. So my thing is, if we want to be kings, then let's do what kings do.
Oh,
But listen to what you just said. Everything that you said is what I'm saying. You said they submitted for my protection, my love. Hold on. Guess what? My finances to take care of them. But guess what? Before it was you, they were taking care of themselves.
Okay.
Guess what? So guess what? They don't need that. They need somebody who have understanding of what they want. So guess what? Submission is a leverage over somebody. To submit is to have leverage, regardless if you use it in any context. Because you said, I submit to my job because it got leverage over your check.
Exactly.
So guess what?
Right.
You always gonna submit to something
to
get the benefit.
You
submit to your job to get the benefit of the check. If you
Hey,
wasn't getting
all
the
I
check,
said,
then why'd work?
like I said, all I said
What's
is
the point?
submission might not work with some of the people. Go get your understanding. Some people will submit willingly and take that leverage over them. Most women nowadays think submission, they don't want nobody to have leverage. They want equality and they want to have a partner to grow with.
Okay, but
that's all I said. That's all I said.
That's the part that's messed up. That's the part that's all wrong.
Man,
This is why it's not working. Like this is why it's not working, because people don't know how to play the roles in the relationship. There does have to be a role in a relationship. There has to be roles. Like everybody can't hold the same position and have the same role. It causes confusion. There's a reason why is ordained spiritually, and I guess for those who aren't spiritual, who don't believe in a creator, in the creator, there's only one. Then I guess maybe this concept is, I'm just saying it this way, and I don't mean to offend anybody, but this concept might be hard for you to understand because maybe you need the Holy Spirit. Because what I'm trying to tell you is there has to be order in a relationship. Okay, it's Christ is the head of all, and then the man is under him, and under him is the woman, and then under the woman are the children. There has to be order and structure, or it's chaos. Why we're seeing chaos is because people don't know, they don't understand the concept of submit. And on the next show, I'm gonna pull out the Webster, and I'm gonna define it for y'all, because it's like y'all have gotten away from understanding what submission means, and not submission by worldly standards, even submission by God's standards. Because if you understand that, then there is no leverage. It's not about that. If you understand what submission is, it is about a man understanding that he's the head, but that woman is the neck. She is very vital to that process. And it's not about equality. Please remove that from your vocabulary. It's about equity, having equity in the relationship. I don't want, nor do I need to be equal with a man. I just said there has to be balance. If I'm so busy trying to be equal, then I'm not getting the benefits that that man brings to the table, and he's not getting the benefits that I can bring to the table by me owning my role and him owning his. Because I'm too busy trying to do what he do and own his role, so I'm not owning mine. So there's a void. If I'm trying to do him and he's trying to do him, we both trying to do him. So there's a void there. That is the reason why we need to own positions. There, I agree with you that there needs to be an understanding between two people. Yes, obviously. And the love comes first. Okay. You don't submit to be loved. The love comes first. The love is what makes you want to submit. It makes you want to submit. But the problem is we love these days with a selfish kind of love. It's a self-serving kind of love. It's the kind of love that'll have us say things like, that don't work for me. What you mean it don't work for you? It's the way it needs to be in order for it to work, period. So if you say it don't work for you, that's a selfish kind of love. So for you, you want something different. But at the end of the day, the arrangement of marriage was ordained before we were even in existence.
Great.
And I understand that some people don't believe that. So I guess if you don't believe that, then what I'm saying to you might not right now might sound like wah. You don't get it. And I don't mean to offend.
No, I'm the same.
But I'm just simply, I'm not speaking directly at you, Prince. I'm
I
speaking
know.
Like, this submission topic is, and I'm really speaking to ladies because I need them to understand the difference. This submission topic is very, very serious because we have reduced it to servitude and slavery. And it's so not that. It's so not servitude, ladies. It's not slavery. So not speaking necessarily at C Prince because he has a right to his point of view. And I'm not saying that there's some valid points that he made. I'm just simply saying, ladies, I need y'all to understand that there is a difference between real, true submission, the way it was intended, and slavery and servitude. They're not the same thing at all. And any man that really loves you would not even want you to be in a position of servitude. He don't want a server in the sense of you just do whatever he wants you to do when he wants you to do it. Beck and call type stuff. That's not what he's looking for, because if that man loves you, he has a certain amount of respect for you. So it ain't about that. So I need to make sure. I'm sorry. I mean to hijack C Prince's time because I had my time.
Yeah, it just killed my time.
I just had to make sure the ladies don't start getting confused because a lot of ladies will benefit from understanding what true submission really is. And ladies, y'all walking around tired all the time talking about I got to do all of this. That's because you weren't supposed to have to do all of it in the first place.
No, but to touch on one thing, I'm going to close out on that. Because if you look at the original purpose of why a woman was made, it wasn't to submit. It was to be a companion to men. But it only later on in the Bible, they talk about submission. Y'all forget, I'm a preacher's kid. Y'all didn't know that, but we ain't gonna go there. Understand it. When it goes to the later parts of the Bible, that's how when she was made, he gave them their roles. Mm-hmm. But it went to later part of the Bible when the roles changed to submission.
After the fall.
So think about that. New Testament.
Yeah.
So guess what? Who wrote the New Testament? It was disciples. We told the women to submit. God didn't tell her to submit. He gave her role. He's a bind.
Yes, he did.
Listen, read it. Read the role.
He literally said,
No. Read when he created her. And read when they say, when he took the rib and he made her up, and he told Adam what to do with the land. He told her what to do.
He said your man will rule over you.
But he didn't
your
tell her.
Affection will be for a man, and he's going to rule over you.
Rule
he did say that. Okay.
Rule is different from submitting. Rule is not like this. That is, the man is the man. Hey, the ruler of this earth. to be honest. But guess what? He didn't build on women to submit. He built them to be companions, to support them.
Yeah, but that got thrown out when she ate the apple, friend. She ate the apple. We're not talking about that no more.
Okay, but yeah.
A piece of fruit, whatever piece of fruit it was that she ate. So that just
but her original purpose was to be a companion.
Okay.
Not mission.
Okay, well, we don't live that life though. We ain't in a garden, so we in this.
But you know, I'll say this. Let's say we'll get ready to get off of here. To see Prince, I don't think that changes anything, man. Yep. At the end of the day, even being submissive to your man, you are still his companion. So that doesn't change anything. And I think to be honest with you, I think the reason why this whole submission topic has become so popular as of late is because a lot of our women they don't want to play their role anymore. And that's really what it is. Because see, a natural feminine female, she's not going to even be talking about no submission. She going to go in there and do what she got to do to make sure her man is good. And that's just what it is. So the fact that dudes even have to say this type of stuff these days tells you we got an issue. And I'll just leave it at that. And I understand the origins. I'm well aware. But we have an issue where we have a competition going on. Yep, this is why we have ladies now wanting to label themselves boss bees. Yeah, my mom and my grandma wasn't talking about being no boss bee. They was talking about being good mothers. They was talking about being good sisters and good aunties and good daughters to their mama. That's what my parents and them generations was talking about. Now we over here in 2022 talking about being a boss bee. We all out of whack. Go ahead, Vince.
Yeah, we have, and the business that I run now was founded by my grandparents, who really my grandmother, and she was a real boss, but she took more pride in being a first lady, the mother of the church, a grandmother. She didn't walk around saying she was a boss of this and a boss that. That's what she did. That's not who she was. Who she was Mrs. Williams. And I think that a lot, and we don't, and a lot of women do not take pride in that. They don't take pride in being a wife and a mother and the leader of the, not the leader, the one that, the family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody want to be an entrepreneur. Everybody want to get to the bag. You know, stay at home mothers. You know, oh, well, you just, that's a great thing. It's because you have an option.
Right.
You know, that's the thing about is having options and having the choice to be at home with your children. So I don't know. I think it's too far gone, because I think society pushes this independent black woman.
Yes.
Not necessarily independent white woman.
No.
It's independent black woman.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And I said the main point behind that is basically to do exactly what it's doing right now, to create a wedge and division between black men and black women. And that's really all it does. And it's working very effectively. But yeah, we got to get these mindsets together. Yeah, we got to get back to playing our roles, being in our natural positions. We have to get back to supporting each other. We have to get back to building with each other. We have to get back to allowing, going back to the topic, we have to get back to listening to each other's opinions and preferences and thoughts on certain things. We have to get back to communicating. Like I said, we just all out of whack. Yeah, we are all out of whack. And it is literally starting to come off, like I said, referencing back to the topic, it's literally starting to come off like we hate each other.
Right.
Like literally. Yep, I rarely hear anybody saying anything positive about each other anymore. We just literally bucking all day long, every
Can
day, all week. Cam Newton say he wanted a lady who know how to cook. Y'all dragging him. Yeah, Cam Newton saying, you know, a lady should know when to be quiet. Y'all dragging him. Yeah, because at the end of the day, ladies, if y'all saying something to a man, y'all gonna want him to be quiet and listen. So what's different about what Cam said? So it's like we literally just are bucking every day now and wondering why we have so many single women, wondering why we have so many single men, wondering why we have so many broken families. Yeah, but that's where it starts. Yeah, we got to stop bumping heads. We got to stop competing. We are not each other's competition. Yeah, I don't even know where that concept came from. We are not each other's competition. We never were. Yeah, but to Vince's point, we over here competing, trying to get to the same bag for the same house. Like, it just don't make sense. Yeah, but man, we got some work to do. I'm gonna leave it at that for the night. But shout out to everybody who joined us tonight. Shout out to Vince. Shout out to C Prince. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to our newcomer Danielle. Shout out to Winfred Hatton. Shout out to Janine Martin for her comments as well. She was dropping some jewels down in the comments. I said, this is Kandid Konvos. We do this show every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, every Wednesday night. So definitely go tell a friend, share out the show, let folks know that we do this. Like I said, we're trying to get as many people as we can get on here. Like I said, we are on YouTube, we're on Facebook as well. But definitely come back and join us every Wednesday. And with that being said, everybody have an awesome night, and we will catch you guys next Wednesday.